Welcome to Raj Online Trainings. In this video, we are going to see a project, a mini basic project using the technologies like JSP, Bootstrap and Hibernate and MySQL. And the project here is Book Management System. A simple basic project here where we are going to work with front-end, back-end and database. Here in this project, we are going to accept the book details from user like book ID, book name and price. And these details we want to store it into a database, a book table. And we should be able to get the records from the table and display in tabular format. It's a web application what we are going to develop. Let me show the project initially. Then after that, we are going to develop the complete project in this video. So this is the project. Once we run the project, here it is going to ask you for the book details. Let us enter the book ID like 1111, book name, learn JSP, book price, some 500. Now when I say save book, see here book added successfully. Again you can add one more book, add new book. Here it's going to ask you for the book details. Let me go with the 222. Then learn Hibernate, book price, some 800. Save book. Again you can add one more book like 333. Learn Angular, book price some 650. Then save book. See here like that how many books we want to add we can add. And when we click on this hyperlink display book, it should display all our books in tabular format. So in order to do this presentation, we are going to make use of Bootstrap to create this form to accept the user input, to display the data in tabular format. This total form, it is everything is designed by using Bootstrap. And here, whatever the book details we are accepting from user, these details we are going to store it into a Pojo class, a Java Bean class object, a book object, and by using JSP, we are going to read that book details and store it into book object, and using Hibernate, we are going to take that book object and persist, save that object, insert that object into the table. So that's the way we are going to work over here. Now, let us start off with the project. For this, let us initially go with the database site. Let us create one database initially. Create database. Let me say here bookdb. Bookdb, I'm creating a database, bookdb. In that, let us create a table. Let us use the database first. Use bookdb. Now create the table. Create table book with book ID int of 3, book name varchar of 20, then book price int of 4. So we have created the table book. Now when we see the records present in the table, select star from book. So we are not having any records in the table. It's an empty set here. Now let us develop the complete web application which is going to take care of inserting book details into this book table. So for that, we are going to make use of Eclipse IDE. The first step what we need to do is we need to configure the Tomcat server. How to configure server? You can go here with the window, preferences, and in the list you can go to server, runtime environments. Runtime environments, let me remove this and add one more time. So once we choose runtime environments, click on add, choose the server. I'm using Tomcat server, Apache, Tomcat version 9, say next. Then here we have to provide the installation directory. In my case, it is C drive, program files, Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat 9.0. This folder we have to choose over here. Then click on finish, apply and close. This completes configuring the Tomcat server. Our next step is let us create a project, and we are going to create a web project using Maven tool. We are going to create a web project using Maven tool. So for that, click on file, new Maven project. Click on file, new Maven project. Click next. In catalog, select internal. In artifact ID, we have to select here Maven-architect web app. This one, Maven-architect web app. Click next. Then it will ask you the group ID. I'll say something like book management group, book management project 1. Artifact ID, the project name. Let me go with the project name like book management project, book management project. Then package, let us go with the package name as from.book. Click on finish button. So the project will get created. And once the project is created, under src main web app, if you see errors in this index.jsp file, if you are showing errors, then we have to do one small setting, that is right click on the project and go to properties, and here we have to choose targeted runtimes and make a check mark to this Apache Tomcat version 9 and say apply and close. The error will go off. Now once the project is created, and we have created this project using Maven tool. Now into this project we need to add the project dependencies. So here we are going to make use of Hibernate, and as we are connecting to MySQL, we need to add Hibernate dependencies and MySQL dependencies in pym.xml file. How to add the dependencies? You can just go to search engine like Google and search for Hibernate dependency Maven, and here we are going with this Maven repository. So here go with the 6th version. This is final. So alpha means it is in testing state now. So go with this 6.5.2 final version. Copy this piece of code, come back to Eclipse, and in between dependencies element we have to paste here in pym.xml file. We have to paste this dependency. Remove this type. And one more dependency what we need to add, MySQL connector. Here only can search MySQL connector Java. Then take this MySQL connector, go with any 8 version, as I'm having 8 version installed in my operating system MySQL 8. Come to pym.xml file and paste over here. In between dependencies we have to paste this. So 2 dependencies we are going to add. One is Hibernate dependency 6 version and MySQL connector 8 version. Now see, once we save this pym.xml, in this libraries under Maven dependencies, you can see the jar files got added into the project. So this is the main use of Maven tool. In order to add the libraries, the jar files into the project, using Maven it will be very easy for us. Now once we add the dependencies into the project, let us create one folder under src main. Let us create one folder Java. Now, under this src main Java folder, let us initially create a Pojo class, entity class. Even we call it as entity class, Pojo class, Java bin class. Under src main Java, let us create a package com.book.entity, and in this package let us create a new class book. This is our Pojo class book, the entity class book. Now go with the properties, private int book ID, private string book name, private int book price. Generate setters and getter methods. Right click and say source. You can find the option generate setters and getters. Select all, generate. The class is ready. Now we want to mark this class as an entity class. So here I'm going to make use of annotations, Hibernate annotations, instead of going with Hibernate XML mapping file. So to map this book as the entity class, we have to use annotation @entity, and this book ID, if you want to mark it as primary key, @ID. These two are Hibernate annotations. or you can even say JPA annotations. So these are the import statements, respect import statements for entity and ID. Now, once we create this project class, so we are mapping this book with the table book. The name of the table is also book, and these properties will be mapped with the columns of your book table. Now, once we create this project class, our next step is we need to go with the Hibernate configuration XML file. So the next step, under src main Java, right click and say new other XML file. You can find here XML file like this. If you scroll down, you can find XML. Under XML file. Say next. The name we are going here, hibernate.cfg.xml. This is the default configuration file name, hibernate.cfg.xml, and click on finish button. Now, here we have to take the template of configuration file. Let us take the template. Hibernate XML templates. Here we need to go with this configuration XML file template. So I'll be sharing this template file. The complete source codes, whatever I'm developing, the complete project I'll be sharing to you, and you can find the complete project. I'll be sharing in the description the Google Drive link. Using that link, you can able to get the project. Paste the template, Hibernate configuration template. The root tag is Hibernate-configuration. Here we go with the sub-element, session factory. Under this session factory, we go with the properties. Name equal to hibernate.connection.driver class. What is the driver class? To connect to MySQL, com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver. Next property name, hibernate.connection.url. Is that jdbc colon mysql colon / localhost colon 3306 / what is the database name we have created here? BookDB. Provide the database name BookDB. The next property, name equal to hibernate.connection.username, which is root. Then property name equal to hibernate.connection.password. In my case, the password is also root. So these 4 properties for getting connection to MySQL database. Then the next property is property name equal to hibernate.dialect. As we are going to connect to MySQL, here we have to provide the dialect of MySQL, that is org.hibernate.dialect.mysql dialect. So what is the meaning of dialect is like? It is SQL command syntax. In Hibernate, we use methods like save method, list method, get method, update method. So that methods internally should get converted into the respective database syntax. That is the need of providing the dialect over here. The next property, name equal to hibernate.connection.autocommit. We are making it as false. Means in the program we take care of committing the transactions. One more property name, hibernate.showSQL. Means once we run the application, if you want to see how SQL commands are getting executed internally, to see that commands we use showSQL as true. Next important property, property name equal to hibernate.hbm2ddl.auto as update. So this hbm2ddl.auto is mainly used to create the tables automatically. When we use the value as create, if the table is already existing, it's going to delete the table and recreates the table. When we use update, it uses existing table. If the table is not existing, then it is going to create new table also. So in my case, the table is already present. We have created. So I'm directly going with update. I want to use existing table. And finally, we have to refer to the mapping class. What is the name of the mapping class? com.book.entity.book. So finally, we are referring to the mapping class. So this completes our configuration file. Now the next step, we have to create one utility class which is mainly used to load the properties of this session factory. So we should be able to get the session factory with these properties. So for that, let us create one utility class. So here you can go with a package under src main Java, create a new package from.book.utility. In this package, let us create the utility class Hibernate util. This is mainly used to give the session factory object to us. So in this class, go with the properties, standard service registry. This is mainly used to load our Hibernate XML configuration file, standard service registry. Then one more property, session factory. Create a method here, public static session factory, get session factory. We're creating a method get session factory. It's a static method and it returns object of session factory. In this, the first step we have to say registry equal to new standard service registry builder dot configure dot build. So this configure method, standard service registry builder, this with the object of this standard service register builder, using this method configure, it loads our configuration XML file hibernate.cfg.xml. If the name of the XML file is hibernate.cfg.xml, then providing this argument is optional. It is not required. But if the name of the file is something like xxx.cfg.xml, then we have to provide the name of the XML file here. We have to mention this file name xxx.cfg.xml. This is now mandatory. If the name of the XML file is hibernate.cfg.xml, then providing this argument is optional. Now, so this is mainly to load our Hibernate configuration XML file. Then we go with metadata sources equal to new metadata sources. So this we need to pass our registry as argument. The next one, metadata equal to sources dot get metadata builder dot build. Finally, session factory equal to metadata dot get session factory builder dot build, which returns object of session factory. Then finally we return session factory. That's it. Finally we return session factory. Import the respective packages. Right. So by using this Hibernate util class, when we call this static method get session factory, it returns object of which class? Session factory. And what session factory contains? All this in properties what we have mentioned in the session factory. These properties will be present under this session factory. Now using this session factory, we create session and we do the transactions like updating, saving the object, getting the records from table. All those methods we can use by using session. So this completes our utility class. Our next step is let us go with the business logic. Let us create the business logic where we should able to insert our book object into table and get the records from the table. So for that, let us go with the business class, a DAO class. For that, right click on src main Java and say new package form.book.dao. In this DAO package, let us create a class book DAO. In this book DAO, let us go with the methods public static boolean, or you can say public static void save book, which takes book object as argument. And here we have to get the session factory first. Session factory sf equal to Hibernate util dot get session factory. Then open session is equal to, even use complete words, session factory session equal to session factory dot open session. Then begin the transaction. Transaction ts equal to session dot begin transaction. Import the packages org.hibernate dot transaction com dot book dot entity dot book. So we are just referring to this packages over here. Now by using this session object, whatever the book object we are having, we can persist that object into the table. Whatever the book object we are passing as an argument to the save book method, we are persisting that object into the table using session object. Then commit to our transaction, close our session. Let us go with the next method. One more method, public static list books. Whenever we call the method list books, it should return the list of records present in our book table. So for that, get the session factory and open session. These two steps are common. Then how to get the records from your table is, we have to use here an interface selection query book query equal to session dot create selection query and say from book and connect to book dot class, the entity class. So from book means select star from book. It's going to pull out all the records from the book table. Now get the list of records. To get the list of records, you can say list book list equal to query dot list. So which connects to book table, pull out all the records from book table and stores into book list and return that book list. That's it. So this method list books will connect to book table, pull out all the records from to book table, and that will be written in the form of list here. So these two are business methods here, which we have created under book DAO. Now let us go with the major part, that is the front end. We have done with the backend. Now let us go with the front end, where we are going to accept the book details from user. So for that, under src main web app, right click on web app folder and say new JSP file. We are going with the front end, the welcome page, JSP file, add book .ksp. In this, let us go with the title. This is not required. Then let me go with the title as book management system. Here we are going to make use of Bootstrap to go with the front end. And what is Bootstrap? It comes with the predefined classes, predefined library classes, CSS classes, where we can use those classes directly. Now, in order to refer to that classes here, in order to make use of Bootstrap, Here we have to use the element. Use the element meta name equal to viewport. Bootstrap is mainly for responsive web pages. Means whenever we change the size of our browser window, the content will be modified accordingly. It's the main use of Bootstrap, responsive web pages. So for that, we have to meta name viewport width. Width equal to depends on the device width. Then initial scale equal to 1. Here we need to refer to the Bootstrap library. So we have to refer to the external CSS Bootstrap library. For that, we have to go with the CDN for Bootstrap. CDN means Content Delivery Network. How to get the library? You can go to Google. You can say Bootstrap CDN. Bootstrap CDN. You can make use of any link. So here you can find Bootstrap CDN for CSS. Just if you click over here, the link will get copied. Come back to Eclipse, and here we have to provide the link over here. Link href equal to provide the link. We are referring to this bootstrap.min.css file. Then rel equal to style sheet. So to go with good look and feel, we are using Bootstrap over here. One more, we have to refer to the script library. Script src equal to, you can even find the JavaScript library, copy this, come back to Eclipse, paste over here. So we are referring to bootstrap.min.js. We need to refer to these files in order to make use of Bootstrap. Right? Now, coming to the body section. In body section, let us create one division. Class equal to container empty3. These are all Bootstrap classes. Here we go with heading 2. We'll say add book details. Add book details. So let us go with a form action equal to savebook.jsp. When we click on submit button, it connects to savebook.jsp. We are designing a form over here. Now in this form, let us design the form where we accept the book ID, name and price. So for this, let us create a division. Class equal to mb3 mt3. This is mainly for margins purpose. This class is mb3 mt3. Then say label for equal to book ID, and the label is book ID. Label is what here, book ID. Then create one text field. Input type equal to text. Class equal to form control. It's a Bootstrap class. Class equal to form control. ID equal to book ID. Then placeholder equal to, in the text field, what message should get displayed? Enter book ID. The name of the text field, we are saying it as book ID. Like that, create some more text fields, labels and text fields. Accept your book name. Accept the book name. Input type equal text, class form control, ID book name. In the placeholder, we'll say enter book name. Name is book name. Next label, book price. Accept the value for book price in the form of text field. The ID is book price. Placeholder, enter book price. And name, book price. The names are important over here. What are the names we are giving here should match with the Pojo class book properties. These names, whatever we have given the property names, should match over here. Then only we can read this form data and insert into the book class object by using JSP. Now once we create this text fields for ID, name and price, to accept ID, name and price, let us create one button type equal to submit, class equal to button primary. Button primary, it goes with the primary color, and the name of the button is save book. Now when we click on this button save book, it connects to savebook.jsp. Now let us create savebook.jsp where we read this form data and insert this data into the book table. So for that, under same web app folder, right click on web app and say new JSP file savebook.jsp. Here in the savebook.jsp, go with the title book management system, or you can even simply take this complete piece of code. This complete section you can copy and paste over here. Right, up to here, same place. In this body section, here we are going to make use of the tag JSP:use bin id equal to book. We are referring to the class com.book.entity.book. com.book.entity.book, and we'll say scope equal to session. And since we are referring to this book class, okay, we are referring to this book class here, com.book.entity.book here. There. Now, what are the data we have entered in this form? These values I want to store it into this properties. So I should invoke the respect to setter methods. To invoke the respect to setter methods of your Java bin class, book class, here we have to use the element JSP:set property id equal to name equal to book, means we are referring to the id book here, this one id book we are referring, then simply say property equal to star. That's it. So with these two tags, your book class object is ready with our values, the values what you have entered in the form. Now go with the script tag. Here in this script tag, by using this book DAO, we call the method savebook and we pass our book object. So here we are going with what? Book DAO. So since book DAO is present in the package com.book.dao package, let us import that package over here. How to import packages in JSP? %@page import equal to com.book.dao.bookdao. Then this error will go off. Now using this method savebook, it goes to this book DAO. It goes to book DAO method. It goes to this book DAO class and invokes this method savebook. Whatever the object we pass it, that object will be inserted into the book table using this persist method. So we are just calling the method over here in this savebook. Now once the book is inserted into the table, let us display one message out.println. So we are using the paragraph element, class equal to h4. So we are using the heading for text success. So we are that text what we are displaying is a success text, and we'll go with the message book added successfully. Book added successfully. Now so since we are using Bootstrap, we have to go display these messages in a proper format. So for that, let us make use of this division. Class equal to container empty3, container empty3. Close the division over here. Here in this, let us go with once we add the book successfully. Now let us create one hyperlink where it should redirect to your welcome page again, add book page. So for that, let us create one UL, unordered list, class equal to navigation, nav, class equal to nav. Here we go with a list item, class equal to nav item, class equal to nav item. And here in between this list, we are going to create one hyperlink which redirects to your welcome page again. So let us create one hyperlink, a class equal to navlink. We are creating a navigation link, href equal to addbook.jsp, add new book. So when we click on this hyperlink add new book, it connects to addbook.jsp. Similar way, create one more nav item, one more hyperlink here, a hyperlink nav link, href equal to display book, display books.jsp. Here we go with the hyperlink display books. So when you click on the hyperlink display books, it connects to books display books.jsp. This is going to read the records from book table and displays the data in tabular format. That is the role of display books.jsp. Right? Now, so this completes our safe book. Now the next step, let us go with the final one, display books. Right click on web app and say new JSP file, display books.jsp. Click on finish. Now take the same template where we are referring to the Bootstrap library. Here in the body section, we should able to connect to our book table and pull out all the records from our book table. So for that, let us go with the script tag. Here we get the list of book, list book list equal to book DAO dot list books. When you call the method book DAO dot list books, it goes to this book DAO class and invokes the method. Invokes this method list books, which connects to our table book table, pull out all the records from book table, and that complete list will be returned back to us here. And since book DAO is a class present in the package com.book.dao package, so let us import that package. %@page import equal to, for using list, we'll refer to the package java.util.list. Then one more package, com.book.dao package, book DAO. So we are just referring to these packages, and even one more, com.book.entity.book. We are just referring to the packages where we are using this list interface, book class, and book DAO. Now, once we get the list of books into this book list, now I want to display this data in tabular format. So we are going to make use of Bootstrap again to display the data in tabular format. So for that, create a division, class equal to container empty3. It's mainly for margins purpose. In this division, create a table, class equal to, it's a table with a border. I want to go with a border, table bordered, and a table over. Means when we keep mouse pointer on a row, the row will be highlighted. For that, we go with a table h over. Now go with a table head, class equal to table success. In between this table head, create a table row. In the first row, we'll go with the table heading, book ID, table heading, name, and table heading, book price. Now let us go with the table body. In table body, what we have to do, we have to traverse our book list. Whatever the book list we are having, we should traverse it now. So for that, go with the script tag. Here we'll say for book B colon book list. For book B colon book list, we are traversing this book list. Now take one record and display in tabular format. So for every record, we have to create a row. So you can say out.println, create a new row, table data, a value of your book ID. How to get? B dot get book ID. We are invoking the getter method. Close your TD, create one more new TD, then say B dot get book name. Close your TD, then one more TD, the next one B dot get book price. We are just invoking the getter method to display the data in tabular format. Close your table row. So depends on the number of records present in your table, that many times this for loop will be repeated for us. We are just traversing our book list. Now let us create one navigation where it redirects back to our to add the new book. So go to this save book, take this navigation, copy this and paste over here. So only this is enough. Add new book. So just we are creating one navigation hyperlink add new book which connects to addbook.jsp. That's it. So this completes our complete project. Now we have to run the project by running which file? Addbook.jsp. So let us run this addbook. Right click and say run as run on server. Choose the server Apache. Under that Apache Tomcat version 9. Always use the server when running this project. Make a check mark here and click on finish button. So it's saying it's already in use. Let us change the port numbers. Let me go over here 2222 and this one something like 8888. So these port numbers are already in use. So I'm just changing the port numbers. In server tab, you can find here Tomcat server 8 localhost. Double click and you can change the port numbers. Now let us run this add book. Right click and say run as run on server. Then so it's asking for the book details. Some mistake. It did not close properly. Let us run the file again. Right click and say run as run on server. See here, it is asking for the book details. So I'm going with 111 learn JSP 500 save book. Now see it's saying book added successfully. If I want to add one more book, just click here add new book. Go with the book ID 222 learn spring 800 save book. Then one more add one more book ID 333. Then learn hibernate some 650 save book. Now if I click here display books, see here it's going to display all our booked records in tabular format. And even you can see the records in our table. So when we go with the query, select start from book in MySQL prompt. See what are the records we have inserted, that records present in our book table. And it's even giving hyperlink to go back to add new book. If I click here add new book, again it goes back to add book.jsp. So you can go with one more book ID like 555, then learn servlets and book price some 444, save book. And if you click here display books, it's going to show our new book also over here, right? So this is a basic simple project using JSP Bootstrap for print and purpose to go with look good look and feel. So this, when we keep mouse pointer on this record C, it's highlighting that only the use of class h over. So it's a class present in Bootstrap. So when we use Bootstrap, it goes with much more good look and feel. That's the main reason why we have used it. And we are using JSP for the business logic to save the book, insert the book into the table, everything, to take the data from your form and store it into book object. And we are going to invoke the DO methods like save book, display book, sorry, list books to get the list of records from table and insert the record into the table. So a simple basic project in this video. So please practice this, and you can find the source code of this project in the description. I'll be sharing the drive link. Using that drive link, you can able to get the complete source code here, right? Please subscribe, like and share. Thank you.